Lord. Bueno, pues ya estamos. This is the episode 6 of Let's Talk Real Estate with myself, with Ignacio. And today I have an amazing friend, an amazing guest, which is Dileta, whom I've known for many years. Dileta, thank you so much for joining us. It is truly a pleasure. Dileta is all the way in Italy, so thank you so much. How are you?
Well, Ignacio, I'm doing very well. It's hot, it's summertime, full of clients. And as I was telling you before the registration, Italy Sotheby's International Realty is the #1 office of Sotheby's International Realty since last year. We did very well. So we are happy.
That is good news. And remember, everybody, European markets, they're not easy markets in comparison to other US markets, which are more, laws and everything are more focused on real estate. European markets you have to fight for the position. So it obviously means you guys have done an amazing job. So, Dileta, prior to starting, I always like to, give us a quick briefing of who you are, who is Dileta, where are you from? Obviously, Italian, which as a Spanish, we're very close. I always feel very connected to Italians. So give our guests a quick review on, who you are and how you started in real estate and what is Sotheby's International Realty. Italy.
Okay. So let's move back. I started in 2010 with Sotheby's International Realty. So it's 14 years that I'm with the brand, and I'm still the biggest fan of the brand. My background is my father was an Italian diplomat, an ambassador. So I lived in many countries. And as you might hear from my accent, which is not very Italian, I am from a German background. So I lived in Germany, in Austria, in Switzerland with my family. Then I moved back to Italy. And then I did many different things. In 2010, I decided, I don't know why, that real estate was my thing. And I started with the Rome office, with the Milano office. Then we opened Tuscany. And now in 2014, we have all of Italy with 13 offices that go from the north to the south. I'm head of residential and CEO of the company. And usually I'm the person to whom everybody reaches out if they have a top client in Italy. So I will assign the right agent. That's what I mainly do at the moment, because there is a very high interest on Italy, even stronger than in 2022 and before that. So there is a lot going on.
That is amazing. That is amazing. So Dileta mentioned something very important, I believe, her background, correct, Austrian, German. And I want to highlight that in Sotheby's, that is one of the main strengths, correct? We're a real, true global brand. Yo soy español, pero my dad is Cuban. And, we're all from somewhere different, but we all... we all follow that international brand, that guideline, which is very important. And to all our guests, I'm just going to give a quick review on Sotheby's prior to going into Italy. So Sotheby's is a company that's founded in 1744 as an auction house. It was founded in London in the banks of the River Thames, and it's become the #1 company auctioning art around the world, luxurious cars. And we also have Sotheby's International Realty, which is the brand which is focused on real estate. We're currently in over 80 countries. We have more than 1,000 offices, more than 25,000 agents, and we've broken records in sales worldwide. We even reached the 204 billion annual sales, I believe it was in 2021. So it is a remarkable landmark for everyone. Pero bueno, let's get down to business. Let's get down to Italy. So Dileta, today you're going to speak for everybody to understand the takeaways they're going to have from this presentation. #1, about Italy, correct? The real estate market, why US buyers, Canadian buyers, and worldwide buyers are, going to Italy. And you're going to speak a bit about the new developments, mainly in Rome, which is the capital of civilization.
Yes, it is. So first of all, I thank Sarah, who's here with me today. who will help me go through this presentation. So usually we talk of all of Italy because we represent all of Italy, but we thought that for investors it could be interesting to see the difference of new developments in Italy in respect to the US or Canadian market or a South American market, because just for everybody to know, 60% of all our properties over 5 million are sold to international buyers. So of these 60%, maybe mainly US and Canadians, but now also South Americans are buying more and more because of the flat tax. The flat tax is a flat taxation that is given to people who put their residency in Italy and they pay 100,000 euros flat a year, no matter how much their revenues and income outside Italy are. So this is just to give you a brief overall of why so many people are investing in Italy. Why? That's for taxation reason, but I think, and maybe Ignacio, you will agree, maybe it's also the lifestyle. Maybe also the great food, like, you know, the healthy food. And then another thing, it's so diverse. It's a small country which has the Dolomites, it has the lakes, it has the fashion capital, Milano, it has the art capital, Florence and Venice, and then it has Rome, which is the archaeological most important capital maybe in the world. And then it has Sicily, and then it has Sardinia with its beautiful sea. So you see, there is so many different lifestyles all put together. And to give you an idea, we have the best high-speed train system in Europe. You can go from Rome to Milano in a car in 5.5, 6 hours, if you're lucky. With the train in 3 hours. From Florence to Rome in a car, it's 3 hours. With the train, it's 1 hour, 25 minutes. So just to give you an idea that the logistic is doing really well in Italy, and it helps connect all these different places. So
which is whenever I'm going to interrupt Diletta, I'll put up my hand like in the classroom so I don't interrupt you. I just want a friendly reminder to everybody, if you want to ask questions, the chat is open, so feel free to do so. I think you mentioned a very important point, which is la infraestructura, infrastructure, which is obviously something that the US citizens aren't that accustomed as us, the Europeans, correct? So for everybody in the US, that is one of the main highlights, correct? The services, the trains, how they can travel from one place to another. And they're usually very surprised when they come to Europe, because many Americans sometimes think that Europe may be a bit left behind. And when they go to Europe, they actually discover amazing roads, amazing trains, buses, public services, which is one of the main highlights in our countries, both in Spain and obviously in Italy.
Yeah, absolutely. That's correct. And another big thing that we're seeing is that at the moment, all the big brands, like in hospitality, the Mandarin, the Four Seasons, the Six Senses, the Ritz-Carlton. So for the first time, they are approaching the Italian market, let's say now the Roman market. They were starting with Milano, but now they are all concentrated into Rome. Why Rome? Rome has still a very convenient price ratio for real estate. You still can buy top-end properties at 10,000 euros per square meters. And I will give you now prices also in square feet, which most of your listeners are maybe used to. Another thing you have to know, we have very strong restrictions to preserve our landmark and to preserve the nature. So we don't have as many new developments as maybe in other countries. What we do, because we think it's very sustainable, is to redevelop what is already existing. So let's start now to give you an idea. Palazzo Raggi, so it's Palazzo Raggi, the building that you see in this presentation. It's a house that was built, a building, in 17th century. So they stripped it out, and inside they done very modern apartments. And we have sold the 29 units in a year quickly, starting points from 1 million to 9 million, the penthouses. And they were bought by, to give you an idea, Mexicans, Argentinians, Swiss, US buyers, Canadians, French, so from all over the world.
And
Because
Dileta,
yeah.
for our guests to understand, those Mexican buyers, those Argentinian, Swiss, was it a second, third home property for them to come to spend some time, some months a year?
So some of them put their residency there. That means they have to stay 6 months a year. And some of them bought them only as an investment and because they like to come and visit Rome and they like to use Rome as a basis to be in Europe. And it's a second, third, or fourth home. So to be honest, Ignacio, I think it's both. It's some people, and that's the nice thing, because it means these are buildings that are lived in and are not just empty places where people come sometimes. So you have people that use them just as a base to visit Europe, as a holiday home, or they use it as their first residency. And I must say that people, when they, Italy, they want to have something that is historic, but they want it to be, of course, inside modern, as a Miami apartment or as a New York apartment or as a Toronto new development. So this was one of our success stories. Another one was the second one that you can see here. It's a modern apartment. This is a more Italian style, always inside very classic, but contemporary in the fittings and other features. So that was a small, you see, they're all small units, never 100 units. It's always around the 30 units or 20 units. And now
very boutique, which is what the buyers like. And what is the price range for Mercedes 33? Was it also 1 to 9 million or?
No, it was mainly all properties around 2,000 square feet that were sold around 1.8 to 2.5 million euros. Okay, so they were similar. In Palazzo Raggi, we had small and very big, like a 7,000 square foot with 2,000 square feet of terrace penthouse, or smaller studio apartments. So Palazzo Raggi was diversified. Mercedes 33, and they're all, just to give you a context, they are all within 5 minutes walk from the Spanish Steps. The Spanish Steps are like the famous landmark in Rome, and near to the famous boutique street called Via dei Condotti, where you have Gucci, Prada, Ferragamo, and all the big brands.
I believe the Spanish Steps is next to the first embassy ever opened in the world, which was the Spanish embassy in Rome by Los Reyes Católicos, correct? That you still have in the floor.
Bravo, Ignacio.
Hombre, me encanta todo lo que sea, everything that's Spanish history. I love it, because Spain was obviously, here you're going to learn about real estate and history, but Spain was obviously, a very big defender of Catholicism, and obviously the Pope was in Rome, so it was the first one to open the embassy there. So historically, it's unbelievable. Let's get back to real estate.
No, that's true. The Spanish Steps are really in front of the Spanish embassy of the Holy See. So they have like the prime location. Here, just a little map. It's to show you two. So the two first ones we talked about were the ones we've sold. Now we're talking about two new investments, two new developments. One is a smaller one, one is a bigger one, and they are all close to Città del Vaticano, so to the Vatican City.
Can you increase a bit the size of the map so everybody can see where we are?
So no, unfortunately, this map you can increase, but to give you an idea, on the south you can see Città del Vaticano. This is where the Vatican City is. Okay, and the Tiber is the main river going through Rome. This is the real heart of Rome. Okay, and to the right you don't see it. You would have the Colosseum. Okay, and the Spanish Steps. So this is the left side of the Tiber next to the Vatican, and you don't see it now, you will see it on the pictures. It's on a hill, because the nice thing of Rome, it has 7 hills. So some of the properties have really spectacular views. And we can go and talk now about Villa dei Massimi. So Villa dei Massimi is one new development. It is an old villa. It was a Liberty. So it was built in 1922, as you can see from the style. But it has been exactly like the other ones. It was teared down, stripped out, and they're redoing it. Villa Massimi, so was built in 1922. It has wonderful gardens. You will see also a swimming pool and every modern feature you would like to have. It is walking distance to the city center, but you're still up. So what is good if someone doesn't want to be too much into the bustle of and hustle of the tourists, here you are within a beautiful park overlooking Rome. So it's a rare jewel. As you can see, the architect preserved on the right side the old villa, and on the left side for guests a completely modern villa. To give you an idea, so the entire two villas together are 18,000 square feet. So this is a trophy asset for a single person. The terrace, as you can see, is 2,900. It has wonderful gardens overlooking the city of Rome of 64,000 square feet, and it will be ready to move in mid of 2026, so in 1.5 years.
So Diletta, this is one single property, which is two villas, one for obviously the owner and then the other one for the guests.
Yes, and it has, just to give you an idea, it's not just the villa. Inside the park, they have a golf pitch and putt. So if you are like a person who likes golf, you can play golf overlooking. I mean, of course, it's a small thing, but you can like train. And then there are many golf courses nearby, but you can be in your privacy and tranquility. So this is a new development, but of a trophy asset. So like Ignacio, you were saying, this is for a trophy buyer. Okay, and then you will see these are renderings of the pool, how beautiful it is. And the pool is overlooking the city of Rome. And to give you some ideas of the features, how elegant it's inside. I mean, it has a wine cantina. It has like a big spa. It has an indoor swimming pool, not only the outdoor swimming pool. And we said already it has a pitch and putt for golf, a cinema room, a gym, a wonderful rooftop garden, and it has the guest apartment. So if you want to have a bigger group of people, but you don't want to share them in your private space, you have a wonderful guest room. And here just some pictures to see the type of interior design, very modern, but still the Rome main colors, the white, the soft browns, and the beautiful swimming pool inside the property that has the glass windows. Okay, so this was
what is the price going for that villa? Is it undisclosed, or people have to request the price? Because that happens a lot in Sotheby's, prices upon disclosure, which I assume is the case.
It is, let's say I can give you an idea. It's between 15 and 20 million euros, okay? And then if anyone wants to know the exact number, please just send us an email and then we will give you the exact numbers. So this was a trophy asset. Now let's go back to a more classic example of new developments. It's called Terrazze Fedro. What does terrazze mean? It means terraces, because the main point of this new development is these terraces inside a green area of Rome that have this view over Rome. So you see from the St. Peter's Dome until what we call the mountains of Rome outside Rome. So it's really, really, really unique. And the other big thing, it has been designed by a very famous group of architects worldwide called MAD, and another group of architects that are Italians, but MAD is internationally known, and it has 30 apartments. So you have 30 apartments with terraces overlooking Rome, and it's 300 meters of one of Rome's most famous hotels that is now a Waldorf Astoria. It used to be the Cavalieri Hilton, where we have the very famous chef Heinz Beck, who's cooking there. He has a 3-star Michelin cook. You can walk there. The great thing of the Waldorf Astoria, it has like the best tennis courts in Rome. And sometimes you can see Djokovic or Nadal, or maybe Nadal not so often anymore, but it's a great place because you are just walking distance from the city, but you are still outside the big tourist places. And you have this Waldorf Astoria, which has also the largest spa in Rome.
Well, no, that's interesting because in Miami, we actually Waldorf Astoria residences just obtained. We're gonna speak real estate here, correct, Italy? But I'll give a few glances for everybody to understand the importance of Waldorf of Astoria. For example, in Miami, they're developing the biggest and tallest building in all of Florida, south of New York. So it's going to be the biggest building out of New York, and they've actually they just got the biggest loan in new developments to construct ever done, which is 680 million. So that is just a point that I'm saying. So anybody who's here connected and that has sold Waldorf of Astoria in Miami, now you know that you have a new development in Italy, very close to Waldorf of Astoria. So just have it in mind for potential clients that have purchased in Waldorf, Miami.
Which is great news because we don't have a lot of branded apartments yet in Italy. And in Rome, we're starting to be the originator for all these big groups. So we're trying to have like the Four Seasons, the Waldorf, we would like to do, and they're searching with us. So for us, it's very important to have these brands in Rome because we hope, and we have been told, that they are starting to look now to do branded residences as well in Rome.
Correct. It doesn't happen that much in Europe. That's a fact. The reality is, I have to say, Europe obviously has something special. So they have historical landmarks, hotels, brands, and it isn't that much residential components with brands. We haven't really needed it up to today. It is true that in Miami, which are more modern cities, having a brand helps sell those developments. I think in Europe, we haven't needed that as of yet because obviously we offer something which is extremely unique, which is history, culture, food. So that attracts the buyers by themselves. I think the USA has done a great job with branded residences to attract buyers with those brands. I don't think Europe has needed it as of yet, but of course, it's always good news if that's coming along.
Yes, we think, Ignacio, as we're talking now within Sotheby's, the world is getting more global. And what branded residences offer is, what you're buying. They give a guarantee of high quality. And I think they will come more and more to Europe because people just know if I buy a Four Seasons branded apartment in Rome, I will get the same service level and features that I have somewhere else.
Correct.
And the entire world is getting so global that now everything is getting more similar to each other. I just think that the Europeans, as you said, they are holding back on their history on certain things, but now it's important to blend the history with the modern needs.
Correct.
And I think branded are very important to us.
No, I agree, and it's happening. In Spain, for example, the most costly ever sold condo was actually from the Mandarin Oriental. So that is important to highlight. And I do agree with you. One important thing about Sotheby's is all the US buyers, for example, and international buyers, mentioning what Diletta said regarding they know what they're getting if they buy something branded. It's the same thing as Sotheby's, correct? International buyers, when they come to Italy, when they come to other countries, they know what they're getting with Sotheby's, correct? So that's why most of the international buyers decide to go with Diletta, decide to go with Sotheby's International Realty, because they know what they're getting. They know that they're getting that level of service, that international brand, which obviously in order to make a real estate investment, they have peace of mind knowing they're going to get the best service. So I agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what is so important. It's also, when anyone calls me And I know if the person speaks English or Spanish or whatever, we try to give them an agent that speaks the language, but also knows the culture, because sometimes it's not only a question of I can speak your language, but I can understand what you expect. You know, we have to tell buyers that in Italy and in many European countries, buyers are paying a commission too. So it's completely different. We don't have an MLS system. So it makes it very difficult for us to collaborate with other brands, what we do, of course. So it's important that when an international buyer comes, that we understand what he is used at home, that we can explain. Like, for instance, real estate taxation in Italy is rather low. It's maybe one of the lowest real estate taxations in the world. Why? 80% of Italians are homeowners. It's like the highest rate of homeowners worldwide. Italians, they stick to their homes. They have a lot of homes, and for them, brick and mortar is like owning gold. So this is the mentality of the Italians. But somebody else, like the Germans, they don't have this mentality. So it's important that we give them then the right agent to speak to them, that we can explain our different markets. Let's go back to Terrazze Fedro. So just a quick glance, we have different kind of apartments from 1,000 square feet up to the penthouses that are around 5,000 square feet. They all have concierge service, even if they're not branded, but they have fitness areas. They have the fitness area. They have also communal gardens, which are beautiful. They have a big exclusive park. And then let's move to the next slide. Again, you see, you are buying a piece of Rome. I mean, from most of the terraces, you have this kind of fantastic view, and the quality of the design is really amazing and unique. So for those who want to have an idea, here prices start around 860,000 for a 1,000 square foot apartment. And this is the smaller one, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. They all have beautiful, you can see the layout. So usually it's one big master bedroom, a smaller bedroom, and then a living area and a lot of outside area, because in Rome, 12 months a year, you sit outside. And this is the design. So you can see the kind of design that they will feature. Another price always under 1 million euro, you can get a little bit a larger one with a larger terrace of 400 square feet. That's 952,000 euros. And this is the layout, another kind of terrace, but they're all overlooking beautiful views. And the views is the prime feature of a property in Rome. Again, you see, if you look at the picture, you see some beautiful Roman basilica inside. This is a 1,700,000 square foot interior apartment, which has 613 square feet of terraces. So a 3 bedroom and a 3 bathroom in a higher level comes for 1,933,000 euros. Layout, this is something, if anyone is interested, of course, we can send them the different layouts. And again, the views from the rooftop garden, which is communal. And this one on the second photo is the terrace of the penthouse, of the 3 bedroom, 3 bathroom penthouse, which is really 180 degrees view over Rome. And it's fantastic. And it's for 2,741,000. The one is important. And this is the last view of the penthouse. They all will be ready in 2026, I think, and delivered.
Diletta, how does the payment plan work?
Yeah, usually you put down a 5% for the proposal. If it's approved, you put down a 10%, then another 10% after a year. And they're rather flexible, so they can still work out according to the need that the buyer has. If he wants to keep the money, give the money away. They're very flexible. And then the last payment, of course, at the moment that you will be delivered the property. So that's also a very convenient thing. Thank you, Sarah. And the last penthouse, which is the bigger one for 3,400 square foot, with a very large terrace also overlooking always the wonderful Duomo of St. Peter for 3.5 million euros. And here's some pictures of the terraces of the last penthouse. Okay. So you see a lot of outdoor space. It's like living in a private garden.
How is the weather? How is the weather in Rome?
Anna is asking us something. Good morning. If a client buys a property in Italy, they get any type of residence visa? Yes, they can get a residence visa. I will send to Ignacio our residency program, of which we can talk then, because it's very specific. Pablo, remember, it's different. It depends on which country you're from. Unfortunately, in Europe, it's like this. But absolutely, yes, we have, let's say, our kind of residency visas is more for ultra high net and high net worth individual in respect to other countries. But I'm happy to speak about this. If anyone wants to send me an email, we will give you then my email, or you just write to Ignacio and then Ignacio will give me.
Ole,
So,
I love how you say Ignacio, like Ignacio. I don't hear that much in that much in Miami. Pero bueno, let's go back.
You say Ignacio.
Sí. Oye, Diletta, tell us
Ignacio.
something. When we speak about the outdoor space, how is the weather in Rome? We have the seasons, the different seasons that we don't have in Miami, correct? So how is the weather in Rome?
I would say the weather in Rome is very, very, let's say mild, but it's very hot in the summer. It has only 1 or 2 months in winter, which can be cold. But to give you an idea, I did my breakfast on the New Year's Day in my garden. It was like, I would say 15, 18 degrees Celsius. It never gets to 32 Fahrenheit. It's really never cold in Rome. It can be every 3-4 years, there is like a snow falling, no, not even, I think every 10 years there is snow in Rome, but it's very mild. It's very hot in summer, that is true, but it's hot everywhere. Now, I lived in Berlin, and even now, I went last year to Berlin and it was really hot in Berlin. So I think that's a global problem, but absolutely Rome has a wonderful weather in winter. So it's fantastic. And then I would like to go and talk to you maybe more generally, because we did now these 2 examples. I would like to give you an idea. When you buy in Rome a property, you're not paying the taxation, the purchase taxes on the price that you're paying, but on the price that it is registered at the landmark property, at the land registry office, sorry. So that means, to give you an idea, depending if it's a first home or a second home, a first home would pay 4%, a second home 9%. Usually you pay the 9% on a price, to give you an idea, 1.5 million euros, you would pay it on 150,000. It's almost 1/10. So it gives you an idea that it is really convenient to buy properties in Italy. And also the yearly taxation is rather low. Again, no politician, either left or right, is going to change this because of the 80% of Italian homeowners that are voting. So even when they increase taxation on property, it's always very low, just not to upset the Italians. And that's a guarantee for everybody. Yes, thank you, Sarah. And I see, Ignacio, I see there are some.
Yeah, there are some questions. Is this, let me see.
How is the financing for international investors? Well, this is another very good question. With some countries, it's a little bit more difficult. With some, it's easier. We help out. So if anyone wants to have a finance, we can help out. I don't want to go into details because it depends if you're Canadian, if you're American, if you're German, if you're South American. With some countries, it's easier. With some, it's more difficult. The only thing that is not allowed is cryptocurrencies. But that's for all of Europe. And then Gladys, hi Diletta, how much will be the maintenance fee per month for Terrazze Pedro? Oh, this is a very good question. They are finding it out, but it will be around 500 euros per month. And they told me not more than 5,000 euro per year. So it's almost 5,000 or 6,000 euros per year in dollars, sorry, 6,000. And what's this yearly property tax? Well, that depends on how big the properties is, but usually it's between, in that cases, I think it was between 5,000 and 10,000 euros per year on the bigger properties. But Lucero, I want to be a little bit more exact, and if you want, I can send you then a price sheet, a tax sheet. Okay, Ignacio, any other things that we want to go through?
I was thinking, give me a second. Can you make me host again?
Yes, can we make you host again?
Hey, can you give me back the power?
The power. I want to give you back the power. Sarah, give him back the power. We don't want the powerless Ignacio, otherwise.
No, hombre. A ver.
Invita.
A ver, let me see, because we have 28 people connected. Let me see if just go to participants, I think. Give me a second.
Yes.
A ver.
Invita.
Rename.
Virtual development.
Give me a second, guys. Let me see if we can do it. Do you see if we can do it or not? No, I wanted to share the previous presentation you did, but oh no, never mind. I wanted to share the previous presentation you had from Italy, which I have it in my computer, which is a great presentation. But we're good. So basically, Diletta, no worries. Everything is good because we're already 40 minutes. So
okay.
Just for everybody to understand, because we've obviously done very high price points, correct? Well, no, a bit of everything. But
yeah.
Do you also does Sotheby's also sell from 500,000 to a million, from 500,000 to 2 million? Do you do those price ranges? Can people seeking investment opportunities say Airbnb friendly units? So we obviously have end users, people that want to live in Italy. We because of many reasons. We obviously have snowbirds, people that like to travel to Italy. They still live in Canada. They still live in other locations. And investment wise, why is Italy a good place to invest? What opportunities do people have that want to diversify their portfolio? They have, investment properties in the US. Why would Rome be a good incentive? I can obviously highlight that if we speak always about Miami being a tourist hub, imagine Rome.
Yeah, so in Rome, you're still allowed to do also the Airbnb, absolutely. There are no the restrictions. There are no restrictions for rentals except for certain condominiums, but there are not very many that do this kind of restriction. I think first of all, you get a good return on investment because you can rent them out at the very highest price, but the square meter price in Rome is considered one of the lowest for a European city, and especially for a capital. If you think it's almost half as much as Paris, London, even more, it's 1/3. So people are investing in Rome because they think that the Roman market will go up. But why will it go up? Because people always think, yes, it's true, the Italians, they change their political government, the government very often. They don't have a stability, but Italians, Italy is a very safe country. And though people always think about, many years back where it's about mafia and this kind of things, but criminal wise, it's a very safe country. Politically, it's a very safe country.
Everybody, sorry to interrupt. Remember, everybody, Italy is actually, because it's been on the news, it's a member of the G7, which is, the 7 most important powerhouses in the world. That's actually Italy. Regarding politics, I completely agree, Diletta, because we have the same issue in Spain. Unfortunately, politically wise, we're always changing. But the good thing is, institutions, the country, nevertheless, how much politically it can change, the country always moves. I mean, it never stops, correct?
One of the countries which, you know, we have a big industry. If don't forget, like there are many countries that in Europe don't have a big industry. Greece don't have industry. Italians have. Spain doesn't have. So Italy has a strong industry, which is good and not good, but it's good because it's the motor of the country. And it's, you remember the presentation I did last time. Italy is like top in so many and leader in so many of the technology, airspace. People don't know we're the second for airspace in Europe. Most of the satellites that are sent up in the orbit are done in Italy or in France. So, you know, it's a safe, it's in the Mediterranean, but it's very safe, and nothing bad really has ever happened. And let's hope it stays like this because it's a crazy world. But it's a safe country. I mean, as I was telling you, I lived in so many different countries, and I feel that no other country is so safe than where I live. I can walk out in Rome as a woman alone at 4 o'clock in the morning, at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I don't feel, you know, I don't feel like it's, oh, this is our other presentation.
Correct. So I know everybody, you know, it's nice to see that everybody's still connected, because that means the presentation has been good and nice. I just wanted to share quickly, because obviously this is another presentation. Yo soy muy organizado, aunque no lo parezca. Y como ves, tengo all the presentations saved. But I just wanted to see everybody a bit, you know, the guideline of Sotheby's Italy, you know, all their offices. So they don't just do Rome. You see Milan, Florencia, Turin, because Italy has something like Spain. It's a diverse nation, correct? It's a nation of, you know, like all of Europe, the medieval times, kingdoms, el reinado de Nápoles, you know, it's so every little place is very different. The Venice, for example, that we haven't spoken about Venice, but Venezia was also, you know, one of the most important commercial spots in the whole of the world. And that is something that Sotheby's Italy has. You have here, you know, a map with the positions of the offices. I'm sure this is old presentation, so you've probably increased. And bueno, you have investment. Bueno, te voy a hacer la presentación, pero
That's great. Ignacio is doing the presentation of Italy, Sotheby's Realty. That's fantastic.
Exactly.
That was the video, but I don't think we have the time for the
No, we're not going to see it, but I just wanted everybody, you know, to see a bit of the different locations that they do. Look at these different landmarks, you know, Milan, just so everybody, the type of apartments they sell, general real estate wise, correct? Because we were obviously going into new developments, but this is general real estate. Look how impressive. So this is what Diletta
looks. Ignacio, which is the place where people are now coming more and more because of one of the TVs.
Puglia.
No, it's not Puglia. After White Lotus, it is Sicily. Now we have all the Americans coming to Sicily because they saw it on White Lotus and they want to buy a property in Sicily. So it's really fun how everything is changing.
Amazing. So guys, look at these properties. Tell me you wouldn't like to be there in a summer with your family and friends. This is, you know, it seems taken out of a movie, correct?
And Ignacio, one thing for people that are listening, we also do short rentals in these properties. So if you plan a vacation holiday, we have a team called Retreats, and they do villa rentals all over Italy. You can rent this castle if you want. You can rent this villa if you want. So just to give you an idea, if you want to try first before you buy in a place, you're welcome to rent some of our amazing properties. This is Sardinia, the 200 million property, the one before.
Yeah.
The 200
maybe one day, igual algún día me lo puedo permitir.
Okay, you will.
Bueno, I'm happy with what I have, pero bueno, if God given, maybe we can do better things. This is Apulia. which
This
is
is
tell us a bit about Apulia, because I have friends, Dileta, that have actually invested in Apulia. They're in the art scene. So give
yes.
us a brief, because these are historical landmarks, no?
They are called the trulli. They were the farmers' houses. So usually you have to buy 4 or 5 of these and put them together because they were really tiny, tiny, small. There is this famous hotel called Borgo Ignazia, which is, you see, Borgo Ignazia, a little bit like Ignacio. Borgo Ignazia, which is becoming so famous, and all the American film stars, everybody's coming to Puglia. It is about nature. It's about rural. So most of the properties you buy were farmhouses in the 17th century. Then you put swimming pool and you make them, of course, more modern. It's the heel. If you look at Italy, it's exactly the heel of the Italian wood. This is a beautiful castle in Puglia, next to where Helen Mirren has her house. So Puglia is becoming very trendy with the art scene. That's
Correct.
true.
So
this
then,
is
look, everybody, look at this. O sea, es que it's impressive, no? For the Americans and the Canadians, you know, whenever they visit, this is impresionante. Sicilia.
Ignacio, to give you an idea, we're selling right now a house that is inside a Roman small Colosseum. So the house is sitting inside a 2,000-year-old property. So this is landmark, 2,000 years.
Amazing,
Built by Rome.
amazing.
So
Okay, bueno, we've done 50 minutes, which isn't bad. We've tried to make it as quick and effective as possible, but I think it's been interesting that you can all see the new developments, the redevelopments that Dileta and her team are promoting, leading the sales in Italy. As you see, Dileta is un 10 sobre 10, so I'll forward the contact of Dileta for anyone that requests. I see there's been a lot of questions. The affiliate.
Claudia Fernandez, hi. She was in Borgo Ignazio. She just said she was there when the G7 was.
C'est bonjour Claudia, hein? Elle est un bon ami de moi. Hein? I've started to learn also French. So bueno, everybody, thank you so much for joining us in this episode 6. Episode 7 will be, we don't know, maybe Paris, maybe Portugal. We shall see. I'll send everybody the recorded presentation so everybody can see it. I'll upload it to YouTube, to my channel. And the Leta Italy team, thank you so much. Your name was, que se me olvidó? Okay, so let's also thank her, because she's been part of the magic to make this happen. And we hope to see you very soon and visit Italy. You know, it's a beautiful place. Dileta, if you want to close.
No, I just say thank you to Ignacio, to your wonderful energy, and for making this Sotheby's really global, because what you are doing is helping also make Sotheby's be really international realty, because
Ya
we
tú
are
sabes.
international realty.
Ya tú sabes. The only real international brand. The energy comes because I wake up at 4:30 a.m. every day. I train 2 hours and then I come to the office. So that's a non-stop. Let's see if we have a last question. My email is for the next presentations. Bueno, Gladys, I'm happy you enjoyed it. I'll add you to my list. Bueno, gracias a todos. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next episode. Dileta, I'll see you. Bye-bye.
Ciao, Ignacio. Ciao, everybody. Thank
Ciao.
you so much.